In the next 72 hours, the sky does something it only does once a year, and it will not wait for you to catch up. The strawberry moon is rising. And if this video found you right now, that's not an accident. It started 8 days ago. On the solstice, June 21st, the sun reached its highest point of the entire year, and something in the sky began to build. Quietly, invisibly, like pressure gathering behind a dam. You may not have noticed it consciously, but your body did. Maybe your sleep got strange. Maybe old memories started surfacing out of nowhere. Maybe you found yourself staring out a window, restless, without knowing why. That was the build-up. And now, 8 days later, it's almost here. Between June 28th and June 30th, 2026, the moon will swell to full. The strawberry moon, the first full moon of summer. And it will peak late in the night of June 29th, sliding into the early hours of June 30th. That is the exact moment the door opens. Not before, not after. Here is the part most people get wrong. They think the moon's energy is something you can catch up to whenever you're ready. It isn't. The universe doesn't check its watch against your schedule. It doesn't pause because you're busy, because you're tired, because you haven't gotten around to dealing with what's been sitting in your chest for months. The sky moves on its own clock. And this window, these 3 nights, will close whether you walk through it awake or asleep. That's what makes this moon different. Every full moon asks something of you, but this one isn't asking gently. It's the kind of lunar event that specializes in finality, endings that have been delayed, conversations avoided, decisions you've been quietly stepping around for weeks. The strawberry moon doesn't create those unfinished things. It simply refuses to let you keep ignoring them. Think about the timing. 8 days past the solstice, the longest stretch of light all year, and now the moon arrives to balance it with depth, with shadow, with everything the sunlight didn't have time to show you. Light reveals what's growing. The moon reveals what's been buried. So when people say, the full moon won't wait any longer, this is what they mean. Not a doomsday, a deadline, a natural, built-in deadline that arrives every June, whether you're paying attention or not, except this time, the placement makes it harder to sleepwalk through. If you're watching this on the 28th, you still have time to prepare. On the 29th, you're standing right in the middle of it. And if it's already the 30th, don't worry. The echo of this moon lingers for days, but the closer you are to the peak, the less this feels like background noise, and the more it feels like a tap on the shoulder you can't ignore. Keep watching, because the placement of this moon is the part nobody is talking about, and it changes everything about what these 3 days are actually asking of you. The Capricorn pressure and the strawberry secret. Here's the detail that makes this full moon hit differently. Astrologers place it in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn doesn't deal in feelings for the sake of feelings. Capricorn deals in structure, responsibility, the things you said you'd handle eventually, the boundary you keep meaning to set, the goal you abandoned halfway through because it got hard. Capricorn energy doesn't whisper, it audits. It looks at your life the way a quiet, unimpressed elder might. Not cruel, just honest. Asking simply, what have you actually finished? That's why so many people feel personally called out by this particular moon. It's not vague, floaty, dreamy energy. It's a mirror held up to your follow-through. Whatever responsibility you've been avoiding, a hard conversation, a habit you know isn't serving you, a relationship you've outgrown but haven't released. Capricorn's full moon doesn't let you look away from it gently. It illuminates it fully, the way moonlight does, and asks you to finally decide. And there's a reason this moon looks the way it does in the sky right now too. Something most people miss entirely. This is the strawberry moon. The name has nothing to do with color. It comes from Algonquin and other native nations who used this moon to mark the exact week wild strawberries ripened and were ready to be gathered. A harvest marker. The waiting is over. It's time to collect what you grew kind of name. But here's the part that feels almost too poetic to be coincidence. Because this moon falls so close to the solstice, it travels the lowest path across the sky of any full moon all year. It hangs near the horizon. It has to pass through more of Earth's atmosphere to reach your eyes, which is exactly why it glows gold, amber, sometimes a deep rose color, especially right at moonrise. A harvest moon, riding low, glowing the color of something ripe and ready to be picked. In a Capricorn sky that's asking what you've actually built versus what you've just been carrying. You don't need to believe in astrology as prediction to feel the symbolism land. The moon that asks, "What have you finished?" is also the moon that's historically known as "It's time to gather what's ready." Those two messages are not fighting each other. They're the same message said twice in two different languages. One written by the stars, one written by the people who watched this sky long before any of us did. So if you felt unusually aware of your responsibilities this week, unusually done with something, or unusually ready to finally take action on something you've delayed, that's not random. That's the Capricorn strawberry moon doing exactly what it's named to do. And that brings us to the part you came here for. How do you know if it's already working on you? Are you already feeling it? Most people don't recognize a full moon shift while it's happening. They just think they're having a strange few days. So here are 3 signs the strawberry moon has already started moving through you between now and June 30th. Sign 1. Your sleep is off. Not necessarily bad, just different. Waking at 3 a.m. for no reason. Dreams that feel unusually vivid, almost cinematic, like your subconscious is trying to hand you something important while you're too unconscious to argue with it. Full moons are known for disrupting sleep, but a Capricorn-placed one tends to disrupt it with messages, not just restlessness. Pay attention to what you remember when you wake up. Sign 2. Sudden, almost uncomfortable clarity. A realization about a relationship, a job, a pattern you've repeated for years, arriving out of nowhere, fully formed, like it's been waiting behind a door that just swung open. This is Capricorn's signature. It doesn't build clarity slowly. It delivers it all at once, usually while you're doing something completely unrelated, driving, showering, half listening to a conversation, and suddenly you just know something you didn't know yesterday. Sign 3. Emotional waves that don't match your day. You're fine, and then you're not, and then you're fine again, all within an hour with no clear trigger. This isn't instability. Around a full moon, emotional material that's been sitting quietly under the surface tends to rise, not because something is wrong, but because the pressure of the lunar peak pushes it upward. The same way tides rise without anyone asking the ocean to explain itself. If you felt even one of these in the last few days, you're not imagining it. You're not too sensitive. You're responding to something real, happening on schedule, the same way it happens every single year. Just landing on you a little more directly this time, given where the moon is sitting. Now here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. You can ignore all of this. Keep scrolling. Keep avoiding the conversation. Keep telling yourself the restlessness is just stress. Most people do exactly that, and the moon doesn't punish you for it. There's no cosmic penalty waiting on July 1st. What tends to happen instead is simpler. The same unfinished business resurfaces later, usually at a less convenient time, in a less gentle way, without a full moon's clarity to soften the landing. The window doesn't disappear forever. It just closes for now. And whatever you didn't deal with waits for you in the dark instead of in the light this moon is currently offering. That's the real warning here, not fear, just physics, dressed in spiritual language. Unaddressed pressure doesn't vanish. It finds a different moment to release. So if any of this is landing, if you're nodding right now, recognizing your own week in these 3 signs, the next part of this video is for you specifically. Loose ends and the final window. If the strawberry moon is asking you to finish something before it peaks, here are the 4 places people most commonly find their loose ends. You don't need to fix all of them. Just notice which ones tighten something in your chest as you read them. 1. The conversation you've rehearsed but never had. Whether it's setting a boundary, asking a real question, or finally saying the thing you've swallowed a dozen times. Capricorn energy doesn't ask you to have a perfect conversation. It asks you to stop avoiding an honest one. 2. The decision you've been outsourcing to later. A job, a move, a relationship status that's technically undefined. Later is a Capricorn red flag, because Capricorn knows later usually means never, dressed up as patience. 3. The old pattern you keep forgiving yourself out of. The habit, the relationship dynamic, the way you keep shrinking in certain rooms. You don't have to dismantle it completely in the next 48 hours, but naming it, actually naming it, even just to yourself, is the release this moon is asking for. 4. The grudge or guilt you're still quietly carrying. Towards someone else or toward yourself. Capricorn doesn't ask you to forgive on command. It asks you to stop letting it run the show without your awareness. None of these need grand gestures. A text you finally send. A truth you finally admit in your journal. A boundary you finally hold just once, just to prove to yourself you can. That's enough. The moon isn't measuring the size of your action. It's measuring whether you stopped avoiding it. And this matters right now because of the calendar. June 28th through the 30th is the final window before the energy shifts into July. Once July begins, the focus moves elsewhere, and whatever wasn't addressed during this Capricorn full moon gets folded back into the noise of ordinary life. Harder to hear, easier to keep avoiding, for another month, another season, another year, if you let it. That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to focus you. You have a closing window, not a closed door. There's still time, right now, today, to do one honest thing with it. This is also why so many people describe this exact lunar window as feeling like the universe finally calling in something they've owed themselves for a long time. Not a debt to anyone else, a debt to your own forward motion. The strawberry moon, low and golden in a Capricorn sky, isn't punishing you for what's unfinished. It's simply illuminating it one more time, clearly, directly, generously, before the light moves elsewhere. So between now and the peak, ask yourself honestly, what is the one loose end I already know I'm avoiding? You already know the answer. You knew it before this video started. Now here's exactly what to do with that answer when the moon actually peaks. When the strawberry moon peaks the night of June 29th into the 30th, you don't need a complicated ritual. You need 10 honest minutes. Step outside, if you can, and look at it, low on the horizon, glowing gold. If you can't, that's fine. Sit somewhere quiet. Open a notebook and answer one question. What am I finally ready to release? And what am I finally ready to finish? Write whatever comes first. That's usually the truest answer. Let it sit overnight. You don't have to act on it yet. Just stop pretending you don't know what it is. That's the whole ritual. If something here landed, that wasn't random either. Same as you clicking on this video tonight, out of everything else you could have watched. If this found you today, it wasn't an accident. And what begins the moment July opens its doors is a different story, one most people won't see coming. If you want to know what it means for the rest of your summer, you'll want to be here for the next one. Like this if it spoke to you. Subscribe if you want to walk this path together. See you very soon. Right on time, the way the moon always is.